Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round two of the Anvalan conflict. Today we have Merrymen versus the Gentlemen. So, running down the builds, we have She Who Thirsts, captained by Byron Cavendish, rocking a Banshee 80s front. Interesting choice there, and dual mercs on the sides. And on the Gents Pagoda, we have Black Lumberjack Merc on the left side, carrying a Quacha on the right, and a Flare on the back end. Roger, do you want to take
Oh,
the blue team?
absolutely. Here for the blue team, which is the Merry Men, we have the However We Died, piloted by Rear Admiral Zill. We have a carronade front on this squid, a Banshee right side, and a Phobos mine launcher rear. The second ship in the Merry Men fleet this evening is the Broken Submarine, piloted by Mr. Lambert. It is a standard Gat mortar front Metamidian with a carronade flare left, a very increasingly common configuration that we've seen earlier in this tournament, especially from the Wolf Pack. So
Indeed. I'm interested to see how aggressive this squid is going to be, because
yeah,
you
you know
know he
this.
wants to close the gap for that galleon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the squid is absolutely going to have to rush the hell out of that galleon. Galleons are very vulnerable to having their balloons popped, so it's really going to depend on that galleon's ability to sort of lay down that firepower early and fast in order to beat off the potential squid assault. It's good to see squids in competitive play now. We've seen them a few times to varying degrees of success, but I think since the Gat mortar nerf, they've become a lot more competitive, and especially with the relative increase in the effectiveness of disabling weapons such as Carronade and also the Banshee. So I think Carronade Banshee, that's a really solid build. I played around with that a bit, and I think that could work really well here for Zill if he's able to pilot it.
I think they're going to be waiting for some form of cloud cover, and now both ships on the red team have drogue shoot, so even if they do get that balloon pop, it'll be a long while before
Yeah.
they manage to descend that far.
Yeah, we have looks like the red team is definitely setting up a gun line here. They know that the blue team has no other choice than to come at them. So they are going to be sitting there and waiting for the Merrymen to make a move. Just taking a look here again at the left side of the She Who Thirsts, we have double Mercury. Okay, remember the last time that I fought them when they defeated the raft? They had, I think it was a Mercury Artemis, and that was quite a pain in the butt for me to deal with because I was in my junker and they were disabling my guns left and right. But I see they switched to double Mercury, which may be a good move here considering the ship composition of the Merry Men.
Now Zill is just staying right behind this rock, perfectly still, which I never see after a ship moves on the first point.
Yeah, that is a very nice loss of inertia there. Just looking at the cloud cover here now would not be a bad time at all for the Merry Men to make their move. The
Yeah, and there he
clouds
is.
are,
But
yeah,
it
they
looks
have
like he's
probably,
catching the tail end, so this could go sideways.
yeah.
Broken Submarine looks like he's pretty far behind. Oh, it looks like he's just gonna go into the next valley over.
Mm.
Nice play by him.
Yeah, very nice tactical movements from the Merry Men here. The
My
squid is,
God, they are perfectly zoning viewing angles. It's beautiful.
yeah, it's really nice. We've seen the Merry Men do this sort of thing many times before. Creative use of terrain is really one of Zill's strong suits. Um, so we'll see here if they're able to break this gun line, close in, and disable the galleon and drop the Pyramidion. That is what I'm assuming their target priority here is in this instance.
Broken Submarine snuck a little too far out, and he was spotted getting his nose shot off and peeking back behind cover.
Mm. Well, this may be a good thing for the Merry Men
And a
if
nice bit of cloud cover. This might be it.
yeah, it just depends on whether or not they can identify this opportunity and peek out. Looks like we do
There's
have some
Zill.
movement from the squid. He is moving out. We have flares going down, which may be a good indicator for Zill that this is the time to move in. And indeed, However We Died is coming in. Byron Cavendish on the She Who Thirsts is coming about to his port side, getting those fire weapons ready and primed. However, it looks like the squid is going to slip by those arcs undetected, and it looks like Zill is going to lay into the Gentleman's Pagoda here.
He does not
Sure.
care at all about that pyramid, and he is perfectly fine just trying to outmaneuver him.
Fair enough,
Ooh,
yeah.
big Banshee on the engines, though. He needs to get out of that. He does not
Yeah,
want
10
those
stack
engines
on
gone.
the hull. Good God, Banshee just lays down massive amounts of fire damage, and that hull did have a 10 stack on it, quickly extinguished. Gents Pagoda here is about to hit the deck. That balloon has not yet been repaired. So I would say that this is a very good engagement from Merryman. Or Broken Submarine's armor is damaged. It is taking permahull damage quite slowly from the Banshee. That is one of the disadvantages of that loadout. However, speaking from experience, it is very frustrating dealing with all the fire and disables that those loadouts can cause. Still very
Now,
tight.
Zill switching to She Who Thirsts, who seemingly got a bad ram. A lot of his arcs went sideways there.
Right. Yeah, it looks like Broken Submarine and Gents Pagoda are sort of tangling there on the floor of the canyons while Zill is trying to keep the She Who Thirsts occupied. Doing a fair job of it. Broken Submarine again has its armor down, came back up, but it has not really been an effective fighting force in this engagement, we would say, other than just kind of soaking up damage.
Well, he did just get bansheed very hard with 80, so he had more fire than he could deal with. I think.
Very difficult to deal with. Gents Pagoda taking a ton of permahull damage there from that Banshee. Armor coming back up just in time, but Zill is staying really close to that arm time side. Very good use of this particular disadvantage of that build. And however we died has really got the Gents Pagoda pinned and is doing serious damage. This engagement is definitely going in the favor of the Merrymen thus far. Gents Pagoda is dropped by Zill's squid, excuse me, the Zid, I guess we could call it perhaps. However we died. And She Who Thirsts is now in a 2v1.
Broken Submarine has been managing to keep this last quarter of permahull health fairly well after rolling with She Who Thirsts for quite a while. That Banshee not quite doing a whole hell of a lot.
That is an advantage. However,
everything on fire.
The Gat is starting to rip into the She Who Thirsts. There goes the armor, waiting for those mortar shots. Where are they? It looks like the mortar's probably out of arc there. Yeah, wow. Okay, there it goes.
It would, yeah.
I didn't see any mortar shell bursts there, but it looks like
Neither
the floor
did I.
Looks like the floor of the canyon may have contributed to that. So, wow, very impressive.
Rain is once again MVP.
Yeah, very impressive 2-0 lead for the Merrymen with that squid. Very well done by them.
And another very skewed spawn. Now that they broke the defensive line that Gentleman had set up, this might be going a little more in Merryman's favor.
I agree. Yeah, I think the Gentlemen, you know, they're taking that galleon with a long-range side, which Zill knows just to go right for it. He's just getting up in the grill of that galleon, staying within arm time, popping that balloon, which galleons hate, thereby taking away the galleon's ability to maneuver, because the captain is probably on the balloon at this time.
And it looks like they're perfectly content just letting Broken Submarine brawl. Oh, he's backing up. He's going to let She Who Thirsts pass through this canyon, and then he's going to try and come up behind him. Yeah. Excellent play from Blue Team here.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from the Merrymen here. Broken Submarine got a very good drop on the She Who Thirsts. Gents Pagoda is pinned. Broken Submarine does have a permahull disadvantage here, but that's going to be mitigated by the fact that the She Who Thirsts doesn't have any strong hull and permakillers. So,
and now Broken Submarine got a bit of a ram on the She Who Thirsts, so a bit advantageous.
Yeah,
a lot of that Hades getting chugged off on the balloon. We
are really seeing the piloting abilities of Rear Admiral Zill here as he just keeps that Gents Pagoda just without any recourse whatsoever. The galleon is just bottomed out. It is completely pinned. The balloon is down. It is taking Banshee damage. Very bad situation for the galleon.
And it looks like She Who Thirsts took out Mr. Lambert there.
Fair enough.
Just through the sheer onslaught of Hades and Banshee.
And that stuff will drag you down. Believe me, I know from personal experience it is a very nasty combination. So we're looking at a 3-1 lead for the Merrymen. However we died, the squid, piloted by Rear Admiral Zill, really giving the galleon a ton of trouble. Very effective rushing of the side. Very effective balloon popping, and just sheer persistence of that squid will eventually wear down the armor of that galleon. And it takes time, but that kill is there. Now that the Gents line is broken, it remains to be seen whether they can put it back together. Zill and co really need to hunt spawns right now, I feel like, before they can before the Gents
Yeah,
can reform their line.
I agree with that. You never want to let the Galleon Pyramidion sniper combo armor back up. But
Yeah.
even if they do, I'll just wait for cloud cover again. They'll try to exploit that, but
Yeah.
hopefully players don't spot them on the way in. At least that's what they'd be hoping for.
Right. Looks like the Gents will more or less be able to set their gun line back up. They're really limited to this one area with this particular build, I feel like. I mean, if they could get down into the blue spawn, it might be slightly better for them. But here with this particular build, it's really, that's a really long range oriented left side. And I personally might have liked to see maybe a Hwacha instead of that flak, maybe. Not sure, but I feel like it's really they're really limited by their range here. In canyons, that's not such a great thing.
Spots going down on the red team. However we die, it has been spotted. They're not going to be falling for that anytime soon.
No.
Both ships turning to face.
Yep, same kind of setup here. Yeah, both of the Merrymen ships have been spotted. I see they both lost their spots. However, the Gents are going to have a very solid idea of where the Merrymen ships are, and it's really absolutely necessary for the Gents gunners to be able to do something about that squid. They may even just want to turn their right side here and surprise Zill. If Zill rushes at that right side, he will be greeted with a very nasty surprise, and it seems unlikely that they could really get that lumberjack flak to effectively drop that squid in time. That would require
The only
tremendous
thing they
amount of
would
coordination.
need, only thing they'd need is one nice watch barrage across that squid. Hopefully take out its engines, and then it's just a sitting duck.
I mean, watch a carronade on a squid. That will definitely keep that little bugger off you. So,
Oh yeah.
however, it looks like they are favoring that left side. But they do have a basic idea of where the Merrymen are, and right now it's just a waiting game, as the Merrymen are basically in the same position as they were at the start of the first engagement that we saw that went so well for the Merrymen.
That's one thing that can be an issue at some points in time, where teams just get into the habit of sticking to one side purely, and ignoring the side that they have. However we die is going to be charging in here. Player's going down, but he gets spotted. He's already rushing in, but Gents Pagoda is not focused on the squid at all. Nice shoot vent dodge there.
Very nice. Yeah, Gents Pagoda is occupied with Broken Submarine, keeping a pin down there. I guess he's relying on the She Who Thirsts to do something about the squid, and sure enough, we are seeing a lot of damage laid down on the However We Died. Lots of fire damage from that Hades Banshee, although it looks like the squid may have did briefly cross into the arm time of the Hades, although it backed off. So
I'm not sure what's happening. Broken Submarine just charged the gun line of the Galleon there, and he is looking like he's regretting it a bit. And However We Died was flying right into the Pyramidion Arcs, but despite all of that, they're still alive and taking the red team down to ground level.
That they are
hoping that the terrain will do some of their work.
Very well-timed mortar shots from the Broken Submarine. Looks like the Gents are once again being pushed back onto the defensive here. The Gents Pagoda is once again really just not in any sort of an effective firing position. She Who Thirsts is taking large amounts of damage. May go down on this armor down, and sure enough, the She Who Thirsts is destroyed. Broken Submarine, however, does have its stern pointed towards the close range side of the Gents Pagoda, which is not a good situation. Also,
this is the last kill, so She Who Thirsts needs to rush in here and try to assist.
Yeah, absolutely. Moonshine, Kerosene, get back there and just do something. Ram one of them off arcs, anything. At this point, it is a real desperation situation, but it is too late for the Gents with the Merrymen pulling off a very impressive Pyramidion and Squid combo, 5-1 victory. Very, very great flying from the Merrymen. A well-deserved victory there.
If you would have asked me when I was a noob what would beat the sniper line, I would have said a squid, but then that's been proven wrong a lot of times. But now we're starting to see that it is a potentially viable thing against sniper builds.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I'm actually, this game very, very interesting to me. Very interesting game.
Hello and welcome to game 2, Merrymen versus the Gents. Interesting first game. Running down the builds, we have the Gents She Who Thirsts with the Hades Banshee combo once again. Dual Merc left sides, and on the G string we have Gap Mortar Pyramidion with dual, well actually a Merc and a Artemis Cannon on the left. Roger, take it away.
Alrighty, and for the Merry Men, we have Rear Admiral Zill in his Pyramidion, and I got shot. It is a Carronade mortar front and a Banshee harpoon left side. Second ship for the Merry Men for this match is the Sliced Bread, a junker piloted by Mr. Lambert. It has a left side double Mercury and right side close range kill side with Gad mortar and forward Artemis. Alrighty, taking a look at the map here, Papa P. It looks like Red Team did get one of the crap spawns to the west of that mountain there, but they did manage to form back up there on the eastern side of the map. The Merry Men are moving around that southeastern mountain with the Pyramid in the lead there and the junker heading in behind it. Pretty creative use of terrain to circumvent those gent gun lines, which we've been seeing so frequently.
Smell shenanigans happening with those harpoons and the harpoon on the left side of the end. I got shot. Zill's already taking fire and he's gonna be ducking down. Nothing but mortar getting in range. Hades just flying low.
Yeah, not too much damage exchange there. No Hades connections that I could see. No fire on the end. I got shot, so it looks like Zill's crew is free to proceed if they so choose.
Make that one Hades connection.
One Hades connection right there. That is correct.
And now they just gotta close this gap. And I got shots going pretty low. I wonder if he has hydrogen or something. Nope. He's rocking his typical spyglass, which I can't even.
Yeah, it looks like we have altitude differential from the Merry Men here. Possibly good strategy. The junker is soaking up the fire. Having been in this position before in my junker, I can tell you it is extremely unpleasant being fired upon by this gun line in the junker, although we're seeing a nice little shoot venting there to hopefully take some of the heat off.
Into rock, however.
Yeah, that is not good.
Definitely will be a slight hindrance on this initiation.
Yeah. Now the Gents need to quickly make up their minds who they want to focus here. I think they're both going to go for the and I got shot. Not a good engage here for the Merry Men. However, and I got shot from armor. Oh, there it goes. It is down. It is taking substantial mortar damage and kablooey. There it goes.
Dropped by run away.
Yeah. Sliced Bread really, man.
Ghosting in for it. I don't know what he's doing here.
Yeah, I mean,
he wants to take the G string out. He knows that that's the main damage dealer with the GAT.
Yeah, Lambert really needs to swing that stern around and get some tar going. Sure enough, that is what he is doing. However, he's in a bad situation here with his balloon down, hull on fire. Oh boy, thankfully for the Merry Men, it looks like that mortar was out of arc, which spared him a little bit of pain. However, he is really being pursued here. Hull armor's down, balloons down, and there he goes. 2-0 advantage for the Gents here. Pop, I feel like that that engagement really went awry for the Merry Men with beginning with that shoot vent. I feel like that really scrambled their effort to coordinate and time that engage. Might have gone differently had that not occurred.
Yeah. Yep. As soon as he hit the rock, I was like, oh, that's gonna be rough. And Zill was already kind of peeking around the side of that. Call it the Lion King rock, right?
Yeah, Lion King is what we call it in the ducks. But yeah, it's really frustrating. It's just one of those things, you know. Especially on a junker, visibility is bad. I mean, visibility is bad for pilots in general, which is why having spy glasses and marked targets is absolutely essential. But you really just don't know what's underneath you a lot of the time. And a good way to deal with that actually is to I kind of use the mini-map quite a bit when I'm about to make substantial vertical alterations, like especially on maps like Periton. Like if I can see him over a building, then I'll be careful. But if I can see there's clear ground, then I feel like I'm safer to proceed in that regard. But
that's smart.
yeah, it's really useful. Actually, I recently, not to go off on too much of a tangent here, but I recently got a computer that allowed me to play in high res, and that really helps with that. Being able to see the map in high res is very helpful. Anyway, getting back to the match here, we have a bit of a split approach from the Merrymen. The gents are clustered here with that firing line
And
going.
I got shots, got nothing but backside here. He could potentially make something go very nicely. He's deciding. Shark in the water. Cue Jaws music.
Yeah, Slice of Bread is taking the combined fires of 3 Mercs and 1 Artemis. However, and I got shot is coming in strong, ramming the G-string from behind. That didn't sound too great. Anyway, She Who Thirsts is putting fire on the and I got shot there. Lots of that crippling Banshee and Hades firing. I expect to see really substantial hull fires on the Pyramid. And sure enough, there goes the armor here. Ton of damage. Good God, G-string just blew the hell out of and I got shot, leaving Sliced Bread in yet another 2v1 here.
This is a very interesting build. I mean, the sheer amount of stress that Banshee Hades puts on builds is insane. But Sliced Bread really looking like he's trying to tie it up. G-string just surviving.
Almost, just barely. They may yet be able to pull it off here. Just one, no.
That rock is the bane of Lambert's existence at this point.
Lambert is not ever going to watch Lion King ever again because of all the nightmares it's going to give him after this match. I don't know.
PTSD. Just watching Lion King.
Yeah. Man, terrain MVP, really big pain in the butt. However, the G-string, man, 1 mortar would just take the G-string out. Whether or not the Merrymen are going to be aware of this and able to capitalize on it is another question. Sometimes in the heat of these competitive matches, it is really easy to lose track of how much damage you've been doing to your enemy ships. So they may, I mean, who knows whether that will play a factor in the next engage if they instead choose to go for the fully health She Who Thirsts. So at this point,
Simba, Lion King, gentlemen.
Yeah. At this point, I am wondering what's going through the Merrymen's heads. You know, they had such a brilliant showing in the last game, and now they're down 0-4. Really not a great situation for them. Looks like they're kind of cool in their heels there, but they are approaching.
I like these gentleman builds because they mix in just the right amount of disable to not, you know, completely detract from DPS.
Yeah.
But it does add a lot more stress when you're consistently disabling and lighting shit on fire and generally making engineers' lives hell.
Yeah. Being subjected to the dual Banshee Hades, especially over a long approach, is it's really unpleasant. It's really unpleasant. Which is why clouds and terrain and honestly, like a charging pyramid, like that pyramid has got to close that gap. I feel like in terms of component damage, it's slightly less bothersome to a Pyramidion, but for a Junker, being focused by that is very, very uncomfortable. Looks like Merrymen are in a slightly better position here, and I got shot. They are focusing the G-string. They probably remembered how much damage was done to it. Let's see, is Zill going to overshoot here? Is he going for a ram? Went for the ram, pretty solid there, and they dropped it.
Oh, that Banshee just ripping into the back of the end. I got shot.
Yeah, however, I think the Merrymen might be able to successfully pull off this engagement, although they will have a substantial permahull damage going into the next one. Looking for those mortar shots, half the permahull down on the She Who Thirsts. Zill still not in a good situation here. He may yet go down on the and I got shot. Lambert, his gun arcs are reaching their maximum limit, but it is enough for the Sliced Bread to capitalize on that superior positioning, and the Merrymen have managed to come back 2 kills against the Gentleman's 4.
No 5 Zill victories here.
No, that's right. No 5 Zill victories or losses in this match.
G-string looks like he's in a coast. Oh, he's just sitting there. I think he's willing to try and brawl this out. And I got shots, got a pixel worth of health here.
Yeah. Merrymen definitely need to capitalize on this. The gents have shown time and time again their proclivity for setting up gun lines and letting the enemy come to them. So I think if Zill and Lambert are on top of things, they're going to want to move out quickly, which is indeed what I am seeing them do here. And they are moving in quickly on the G-string. Sliced bread is in the lead, which is probably the best of the two options considering the 3 pixels of permahull that the Anti-God shot possesses. Ooh, looks like the She Who Thirsts. Yeah, I do not expect Zill is long for this world. He is taking double focus here, although he is dropping.
Pining for the fjords.
Yeah, he's dropping quite nicely out of, not quite out of the arcs of both ships. They're enough to scramble their targeting just for a bit, but it is not enough as the gents take that kill and come back, tying up this match of round 2 of the Anvalan conflict. Very nicely done by the gents.
Hello and welcome to Game 3, Merryman versus the Gents. Great series so far. Running down the builds, we have the She Who Thirsts sticking with that Hades Banshee Pyramidion with Merc Artemis on the left, G-string with the Yat Mortar on the front, Merc Artemis on the left. I thought one of them had dual Merc last game. Looked like they made a transition from that.
Yeah, but I think they changed it. On the blue team, Merry Men, again we have the reappearance of Rear Admiral Zill's Squid, the However He Died. It has a front carronade, right side Banshee, and a rear Phobos mine launcher. The second ship for the Merry Men for this match is the Sliced Bread, piloted by Mr. Lambert. It has a left side long range Mercury side, a right side close to mid range kill side with a Gad mortar, and a front Artemis.
No, the only thing I'm worried about here is Zill getting too far ahead of that junker. You really have to watch how you timings anyway for engagements.
Absolutely, yeah. I did notice at the beginning of the match that the gents on the red side did get a split spawn, so I think they're still kind of trying to form up their typical gent gun line. Looks like the However We Died is starting to lock onto the G-string there and putting some hurt onto that balloon. It's going to require more than one clip, though, it seems like, as the She Who Thirsts and G-string are putting some serious fire onto the Sliced Bread. Finally, the balloon of the G-string does go down. I expect it will be dropping out of gun arcs very soon, leaving the Sliced Bread up to the She Who Thirsts, which is a slower ship. It has the Magma Banshee, which is very good at disabling ships, especially like jumpers, but is a little more difficult to kill with.
Lambert doing a very smart thing. He did not decrease his altitude. He needed to stay high, which is very good to see. I'm very happy to see he did.
Yep, although it looks like he's probably reaching. Okay, She Who Thirsts is starting to take mortar fire there down to half perma. Sliced Bread is still dropping out though. Zill and the However We Died is following the G-string down to the ground there, and it looks like G-string is more or less out of this fight with Zill locking him down there. So it's more or less up to the Sliced Bread to make something of this kill against the She Who Thirsts.
And it looks like She Who Thirsts is just trying to get arcs on Squid. Nope, he turns last second. Gat raining in, kind of scattered everywhere. Just getting half balloon there.
Yeah, that balloon currently has a 10 stack on it. I expect it will go down very quickly, although they are extinguishing it quite rapidly.
And it looks like Zill's making a transition. They just want to try and get this Stabler right out of the fight. Nice squid ram.
Squid ramming is definitely an art, and I think Zill got that one down pretty solidly. It's definitely a technique that any good squid pilot has to have in their toolkit, because squids are often so limited on the kill side. So you got to be able to make effective rams, which is what we just saw there from the Rear Admiral.
Yep, you do not want to do it if you do not have any hull armor.
No, which is a frequent condition on a squid. That's what makes it so tricky. Wow, good respawn for the She Who Thirsts. It is right back in there and starting to put some effective magma fire on the Sliced Bread. We got some fire stacks on the hull and balloon. I am seeing a 3 stack on the hull and a 5 stack on the balloon, which was just extinguished.
Bill's gonna be careful. He wants to try and just avoid fire at this point while trying to keep the G-string down, but he's effectively turned his engines right towards Banshee fire, which he knows is bad, so he's gonna sink backwards.
And we are seeing some very good evasive piloting from Zill and his squid. It was sustaining a double focus from the gents. But up until now, managed to avoid perma. However, it is down to half perma.
No, I think he needs to close range instead of allowing them to get farther arcs by backing up like that.
He's definitely leaving the sliced bread to hang out to dry here. In the toaster, as it were, as the She Who Thirsts is putting down a ton of heat. Waiting for that armor to go down. The balloon is down on the sliced bread. Never a good thing on the junker. Big fire stack on the hull. Well, I'm sorry, it's only a 3 stack. The hull was dropping really quickly. I was like, wow, that's a big fire stack. No, it's just 3. But it was taking quite a bit of hull damage there. So
now She Who Thirsts is trying to keep however we died out of this fight, and now he's getting some hull health, but G-string's taking a lot of fire. They're just trying to take G-string out as quickly as they can.
Waiting for those orders to come in. There they are, and the Merry Men are up 2-0.
Now, She Who Thirsts is sitting in a dust cloud at the moment,
which is a
very
good thing
bad way.
Bad thing. If they were to simply just reverse out of the dust cloud, they would have a pretty effective screen between them and the Merry Men. Although it looks like
G-string getting that spawn.
Yeah, Zill is just going for it here. I'm not sure if you're seeing what I'm seeing here, Papa, but it looks like Zill may have... No, he didn't drop tar. I think that's just a weird graphical artifact there. He doesn't even have tar, so... Anyway.
This is interesting. I mean, the red spawns have been very, very nice today, but red team struggling to try and make something of it. However we died is taking a lot of fire, though, and he will be sinking back into that cloud, baiting the G-string fairly well. Slice Bread is going to be defending and laying down fire.
Taking quite a beating here, although I'm seeing a lot of gat misses from the G-string here, which is unfortunate for the gents because they definitely could have broken hull and probably gotten some solid mortar hits in there from the G-string. There it is. Finally, the slippery squid of Rear Admiral Zill is brought to the ground by the G-string, leaving the sliced bread in a 2v1 scenario here.
So what do you do as the junker in this situation? Try and tank
really...
for as long as possible, or just tactic feed?
You know, I would tar. I would try to tar. I would try to get a quick kill. Although here, I really feel like it's a hopeless situation. I feel like sliced bread is not long for the world. Sure enough, it lies in pieces on the floor of the dunes here, and we have a tied game, 2-2. Very impressive resiliency from both of the Merry Men ships. I think the Junker and the Squid really are two of the most tough to kill ships in the game, and we definitely saw that from the Merry Men side here, especially when you have a Squid in the hands of a pilot like Rear Admiral Zill. It is going to be a tough nut to crack, and sure enough, it required multiple armor breaks, multiple mortar rounds to the perma hull to bring down those 850 points of perma. I think it's 850 that the Squid has, which is considerably more than both Junker and Pyrrha. And,
I feel like one of the main tactics in that Squid is just try and close as much distance as you can, and then just try and deke around the ship as close as possible so that they can't get arcs on you.
Right.
But towards the latter half of that engagement, we saw a lot of Zill getting pretty far away and them just having open arcs on them.
Yeah, that was probably not the most optimal scenario. Another thing to keep in mind is that the She Who Thirsts, its main source of piercing damage does have an arm timer on it. I believe the arm time on the Magma is 150 meters. So that is something that can definitely be used by the Squid, although I think in such a relatively slow turning ship like the Pyramidion, it's best just to try to get on one of the flanks or the stern and not even worry about that arm time, since you're still going to be taking Hades fire, and that is still on its own a very nasty gun.
I don't know if the red team yet, they do in fact see they're trying to keep their sniper sides on them.
However, it's going to be... It was a smart move of the gents to go for 2 Mercs, 2 Artemises. I might even throw an extra Artemis in there because these ships are both very difficult to hit with Mercuries effectively, especially Junkers with their narrow hull profile. The Squid is a bit easier, although when it's moving so quickly at such a long range, it is
This
also
is
a very tough target.
interesting. Sliced bread taking a bit longer to get out of those ribs and the sand clouds after we died. Looks like he's gonna try and ride this cloud cover in.
Yeah, I really feel like Zill should not leave his ally, the Junker, in the combined fires of the gents here.
Red team's gonna get a very unpleasant surprise in the form of a Carronade coming
Yeah.
right along with that
There
cloud.
you go. That's what you need to see happen. Zill is in there early. He is seriously interrupting.
Whoa, nice shoot vent. Just trying to get out of that gap fire. He needs to try and break arcs as much as possible. He got a little overzealous, went in for the ram, and his armor was gone, and G-String just lit him up.
Yep. G-String definitely got some solid gap fire there. A lot of damage on Zill there. That's some very good anti-squid gunnery from the G-String. I feel like the mortars might have been a little better timed. But overall, the G-String did a very good job in beating Zill back from the engagement.
Now he's going to be getting lit up by both arcs. His armor's gone in there.
And there it goes. Rear Admiral Zill in the Squid is brought down one more time, giving the gents a 3-2 advantage in this battle on the dunes.
Sliced Brad trying to shoot vent, then use the curvature of the dune to try and get away. However, he just bounced off the sand there, tarring.
Not good. Not a good situation for Sliced Bread here. It's kind of interesting how these engagements go. Typically, you know, if you have a Squid on your team, you expect the Squid to outlast the other ship, simply because they're so hard to kill. So I'm assuming that the Merryman's thought process here was that the Junker would die first and Zill could get away, but that is not what has happened for the last few engagements. Sliced Bread has gone down by these two very, very nasty Pyramidians, leaving the gents with a 4-2 advantage. So one more kill for the gents, and we will have a victor for this match of round 2 in the Anvalan conflict.
Zill won't make it easy, that's for sure. We'll see what they what tricks they got up their sleeve.
Yeah. My general impression is that it's. I think a lot of experienced squid pilots might disagree with me, but I feel like it's just a little harder to get that lock on the Pyramidian. You know, the falling rate of the Pyramidian is very slow. It doesn't drop very rapidly, and the balloon is also protected, so it typically takes at least more than one clip. So you can't get that automatic lock that you can on, say, a less robust balloon ship like a Goldfish or a Junker or something like that. So I don't really know if the Squid was the best particular choice against this build. I might have preferred to see a Junker, although they did that last time and it didn't work out. Wait.
I think Zill should just try to throw his spyglass at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's mining up these ribs for whatever
Zill
reason.
likes having his target marked, so
oh, beautiful play. I think we're gonna see them try to engage around this. Make it as awkward as possible for those Pyramidians. Beautiful play. Yeah.
I guess the Merrymen are they're feeling the pinch right now. They are one death away from losing this best of 3. So I don't know if we're going to see some sort of a camping mine bunkering strategy, or whether they're going to try another creative use of terrain, which, you know, still not a bad idea at this point. I feel like it's difficult and it hasn't gone well for them, but I feel like it still has a possibility of working. There's a possibility of it. So we'll just have to see here.
I like the tactic of bunkering down in that in those ribs. Yeah. The only thing is if they can outweight the gents. I mean, the gents have Pyramidians, so I think they'll be a little less patient than they normally would be in a galleon build.
Perhaps, yeah. Looks like the gents, from the directions their broadsides are pointed, looks like they're definitely firing in the general direction of the ribs. The sliced bread is marked there it is sustaining Artemis fire. I'm not sure I see any connections there. Maybe just a few little nicks and scratches on the hull, but no serious component damage from the Artemis there, which is always a concern in a junker. Junkers are very vulnerable to Artemis fire.
It looks like they're gonna go. They're just gonna pop through the sound cloud and try it.
Yeah, now for go has to pee.
Ooh.
That is good to know. So maybe the gents will seize upon this this opportunity to attack a 7 out of 8 crude Merry Men team. I don't know. Kalen expressing a delectation for human urine. That is really encouraging. Oh man, you gotta love these little interludes when you know the stress is kind of temporarily let down and people start joking with each other before.
He is Nom. Yeah, where the fuck are you from?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to there. The P is nom coming from Kalen. So it's good. You know, we're all humans at the end of the day. So
Bear Grylls blood flows through Kalen.
oh man, this conversation is just taking a turn for the bizarre. I think I have expended my weird commentaries. I will remain silent as now Rico continues to elaborate on the plumbing of his female avatar. Really fantastic there.
I can't. Or just hit O, it's worth it. So we have However We Died initiating in here, trying to use those mines a little bit more. And Zill's getting lit up by all manner of mortar fire, Zill. And that is it.
Man. Oh man, wow. I was so distracted by that conversation I did not watch that final engagement, but wow, Zill just got double focused like a beast by Byron Cavendish and Feast on Thrones and their double pyramidian setup. And I don't know if folks were distracted after that little interlude. I sure was, but congratulations to the gents on winning this best of 3 match in round 2. They will be moving on to the semifinals. And best of luck to them there.